Hello and welcome everybody. Thank you for joining me today. My name is Luke. I'm the School Development Manager here at ISC Research. Thank you for joining the first part of our webinar series, which highlights key trends within the international schools market. The session is being recorded and the link to the recording will be shared with you for future reference. Please feel free to post your questions in the chat and I'll do my best to answer them today, and we'll follow up any others after the event. So let's get started. As of July this year, there were 13,180 English medium international schools around the world. These schools are employing over 571,000 teaching staff who teach just under 6 million students worldwide. This is a 60% increase in the number of teachers in international schools over the past 10 years. Teachers are one of the key factors differentiating international schools from other K-12 education offerings in their market. Most international schools employ expatriate teachers with the skills to teach the curriculum and with the experience to facilitate the learning approach that is delivered by the school. Teachers are also amongst the most influential selection criteria that parents consider when choosing a school for their child. How do we know this? Throughout the year, the dedicated research team here at ISC Research gathers data and intelligence on the world's international schools. Today, I'd like to present some current market trends that your school may find interesting to inform your teaching staff recruitment strategy. Before we delve into the international school market trends impacting recruitment, let me just introduce you to ISC Research and what we do. ISC Research has been gathering data and intelligence on the international schools market for over 25 years, tracking the market closely for shifts, challenges, good practice, new development, and emerging opportunities. We process close to 300,000 data points every year and spend 4,500 hours on verification. This is to ensure that we and you can trust our data. Since 1994, we have guided schools with their growth plans, informed investors on new school development, helped universities to engage with international schools, as well as advising education suppliers and other partners that are supporting the market. ISC Research supplies online data platforms, in-depth reports, data sets, and expertise on the market, in addition to specialist areas of practice within international schools. You can follow ISC Research on LinkedIn, Twitter, or Facebook to ensure that you are up to date on all of our news and our resources as they become available. As most curricula and most teaching and learning approaches offered in international schools are Western, this has traditionally meant teachers from the UK, the US, Canada, and Australia having a large presence in the international schooling. Some international schools are now leading change by employing a more diverse teaching staff, selecting educators for their cultural understandings and different experiences, whilst upskilling necessary curriculum knowledge and teaching principles internally. A truly diverse teaching staff will continue to set an international school apart from other schooling options, and for more equitable reasons. This means that your school recruitment strategy needs to work locally as well as globally to attract the teachers and staff that you need. The report on recruitment and CPD we published last year shows that international schools are looking for different skills and experiences in their new candidates. Our research shows a new international school teacher profile is emerging, proficient in using technology as a teaching and learning tool, and aware of DEIJ issues and how to address them. In addition, 80% of the specialist recruitment companies that we interviewed for the report said the international schools are considering more teaching candidates from the host country of the school than in previous years. And 58% said that international schools are considering teaching candidates from a wider range of originating countries or nationalities than in previous years. Do you know where your school fits in the global market? Your school location will partly inform your reach of experienced international school teachers and staff. Asia dominates the international schools market with 56% of all international schools. This is a total of 7,506 international schools as of July of this year, teaching a total of 3.7 million students aged between 3 and 18. The presence of international schools is shared evenly within Asia, between East Asia, Southeast Asia, Western Asia, and Southern Asia. The top 5 leading countries in the world for number of schools are all in Asia. This was China, India, the UAE, Pakistan, and Indonesia. A UK curriculum is the most popular foreign curriculum offered by international schools across Asia. International schools are no longer the sole domain of Western expatriates. As many of you will have seen through your admissions work, many students attending a large proportion of international schools are now host country children, third culture children, or expatriates from all countries of the world. The research we carry out on current practices and emerging trends within the international schools market suggests the following criteria are particularly important to teachers when selecting their international school. Please note these are listed in no particular order, although I'll start at the top with school ethos and leadership culture. Analysis of faculty demographic data by ISC Research shows that the range of staff nationalities, including local staff, has been increasing within premium fee international schools for several years. In some cases, this is a planned strategic move by the school to improve diversity within the staff. This has been reflected in our research into diversity, equity, inclusion and justice, DEIJ, within the international school sector and was discussed at the ISC Research Edruptors at School conference in June of this year. Promoting international mindedness, elevating student voice, and representing teachers on a school board are amongst practices that teachers may use to find a good fit when it comes to school ethos and culture. Moving on to the next point, teaching and learning practices. In addition to the choice of curricula available in international schools, innovative practices are likely to play a large part in the teacher's decision-making process. The COVID-19 pandemic has acted as a catalyst to accelerate change in this area with the increased use of blended and hybrid learning. Teachers may have been introduced to new practices that they wish to continue using or developing in their new school. Many international schools now offer significant flexibility and innovation within their classrooms and encourage teachers to be part of wider change in the teaching and learning practices. Good examples of this are highlighted every year in the initiatives that are shortlisted for the International School Awards and shared in International School Leader magazine. And then we have the community well-being. Schools have always focused on the well-being of students, and COVID again was a catalyst for many schools to acknowledge the need to support the well-being of their broader community, to include their teachers and staff as well as leadership. Teachers have realised how important this was to them, particularly during COVID. And the well-being support of the whole school community is now expected to be a factor for many teachers when selecting their school. Next up is CPD. So our research shows that supporting lifelong habits for teachers is as essential for them as it is for students. We know from our research that what and how CPD is accessed also matters. If a school is offering the development that teachers want in the way they want it, this can be very attractive to them. And finally, salaries and benefits. This will obviously play a part in all staff decision-making process, so it's important to understand how your school's offer differ from others both locally and globally. We know from our research that teachers don't always select on salaries alone. Location, benefits packages, the reputation of the school, and accessibility to home or other travel opportunities also play a large part for teachers choosing a school. Let's now consider the current practices in governance which may influence an international school culture and therefore a recruitment decision. We have just published a report on this topic, which is free to download from our website. International school governance is, most commonly, the responsibility of less than 10 people. 63% of all respondents to our research said that school boards or governing bodies have between 1 and 9 members, with 22% of respondents saying they have between 10 and 19 board members. Governance representatives vary widely within the international school boards. 52% of the international schools in this research have a parent of an enrolled student as a governor, but only 12% of the international school boards include the head teacher or principal, and only 16% include a school administrator, whilst only 6% include a teacher from the school. Additionally, 31% of international schools do not have a direct representative of the school community on the school board, neither a parent with a child attending the school, a head teacher, nor a teacher or administrator currently employed by the school. No international school in our most recent survey has a full breadth of board constituents that encompass a parent with child in the school, a parent with no child in the school, the head teacher or principal, teacher, school ownership representative, and a school administrator. Approximately 12% of schools have some combination of these. Just 2% of schools in the survey have board representatives that include a parent with a child attending the school, the head or principal, a teacher and an administrator from the school, and a representative of school ownership. 25% of the respondents said they have other types of representation on their school board, such as local business leader, independent educational consultant, or member of the school alumni. The composition of a school board will influence the strategic decisions made by a school, and therefore have a substantial impact on its culture and ethos. Our research shows that the range of responsibilities governing bodies undertake varies extensively. According to respondents from our research, the most common responsibilities are appointing the school head or principal, which is undertaken by 75% of the international school boards researched in this survey, approving the annual school budget, which was 72% of the school boards, ensuring the financial stability of the school, which was 71% of the school boards, approving capital expenditure, 67% of the school boards, and formulating and maintaining the long-term plan for the school, which is 56% of school boards. In our 2018 research, formulating and maintaining a long-term plan for the school was the third most common responsibility of international school boards. This was a responsibility for 75% of respondents for that study. 50% of the governing bodies and school boards in this year's research also undertake the responsibility of reviewing and maintaining legal requirements required of the school by the local or national governments. Fewer than 20% of governing bodies actively engaged with the parent body or the school community. 39% of respondents said that the governing body is now actively supporting the well-being of the school head or principal. And 42% of governing bodies are now collaborating directly with senior leadership teams during crises. The COVID-19 pandemic appears to have been the catalyst where most change has occurred, with the past 2 years seeing a significant shift in governance responsibilities for some schools, which has not always been considered as an improvement by all of our respondents. Some more feedback about this has been shared within our specialist report. Ethos and culture increasingly matter to the international schools community and impact the recruitment plans of schools. In terms of senior leadership skills, 67% of recruitment agencies that we surveyed for our recruitment and CPD report said DEIJ strategy skills are specifically sought for international school leadership positions. The slow change in diversity of educators is often blamed by schools on a desire by parents for white, Western, or native English-speaking teachers. Schools have to take accountability, and this issue is now being discussed quite openly across the sector. During a panel discussion at the ISC Research Adruptors at School conference, Joel LeBon, the director of DEIJ at International School Services, argued that change will not happen within international school staff diversity until school leaders reimagine the business model from what parents want to what students truly need. Estelle Hughes, the secondary principal at the International School of Dakar, who was also on the panel, called for international schools to recruit staff for their potential and train each other. Diversifying your staff and leadership is not a threat to the quality in your institution, she said, explaining that research demonstrates that a lack of diversity leads to lower standards. Excellence looks different in different cultures, and we need to learn from other cultures, Estelle said. This applies to senior leadership positions just as much as it does to classroom teachers. The pandemic has been something of a living laboratory for teaching and learning, as well as community well-being. And while the most obvious, it is not the only catalyst to shifts within teaching and learning. Student voice has been another change agent in matters such as diversity and sustainability, and of course there are longer term trends emerging too. Some of the things that are changing in international schools teaching and learning that may require financial approvals from the board, again in no particular order, are blended and hybrid learning models that have taken on a new significance within teaching and learning. Of particular note is the increased use of flipped classrooms and a combination of synchronous and asynchronous teaching, which can require significant upfront resourcing and training. Also, the development of life skills matter to parents and schools more than ever, particularly those skills that are preparing young people for the future of work. In younger years, this can be things such as forest school facilities, and at the upper end, it can be interview skills or social responsibility and charitable work. Schools are exploring new assessment techniques, and formative assessment is on the rise, which can impact both resourcing and staffing. Diversity, equity, inclusion and justice, as well as sustainability and well-being, are no longer tokenistic, instead moving to a mission-led school-wide approach. And for some, it is already going beyond this, into the school community and ethos. A focus on community and well-being has been another trend that has gained a lot of traction since the pandemic. By nature, international schools are often places that try to foster a sense of belonging and community, as many of their students are third culture kids or from families who frequently relocate and don't have strong roots in the local community. Since the beginning of the pandemic, a focus on the school community and its well-being has become much more important, and in many cases, we are seeing admissions departments reporting that prospective parents are focusing more on these values rather than the school's academics when they inquire. The pandemic was hugely challenging for everyone within the school community. Those schools that invested time and resources into the well-being of all their stakeholders strengthened their communities along the way. In December 2020, ISC Research conducted a study of over 600 schools in 109 countries into well-being at international schools. This survey found that engaged parental support not only impacted student well-being, but also that of the teachers. The report, which still remains valuable and accessible through our website, includes plenty of data and many practical suggestions on how international schools can respond proactively to their own well-being and that of others. One of the unexpected benefits of a greater focus on well-being has been the power of word of mouth. Many admissions departments recorded higher inquiries from those families who became aware of the school from other parents in their existing networks or online. The same was true of teachers in their choice of schools. Well-being clearly matters to everyone. The big question to school boards is, who is looking out for the well-being of the international school head? That is another area that we discuss in our governance practices report, as I spoke about on a previous slide. Our research also identified an increasing number of international schools that are adopting alternative recruitment routes. As well as sourcing from a more diverse talent pool, some of the most powerful initiatives focus on training teachers on the job and developing local teaching talent through a rigorous and highly structured CPD program. The report says that CPD is being adapted to better match teachers and staff needs and to support their well-being. The assumption being that fulfilled teachers are more likely to keep working within the international schools that support them. Hybrid CPD is looking like the most popular format moving forward, combining opportunities for face-to-face interactions and flexible access to content via virtual learning environments. Schools need to realize that this requires some skill development by staff to optimize this approach. Our report published last year does include expert advice for schools to consider. You may have noticed that I haven't delved into the salary and benefits much in our market trend section. This is not because they aren't a decision-making factor for teachers and leaders in international schools, but because you'll need more specific data and intelligence to compile an attractive package. This is where ISC Research can help you. A benchmarking report is designed for schools that want to better understand their position within the market. Produced to order, a benchmarking report is essential for an international school to know how it compares to other international schools locally, regionally, or even globally. It's a data-based report that allows you to compare your staff salaries and benefits amongst a broad range of other key data points against a bespoke cohort of schools of your choice. And what the report will do, essentially, is provide the data and insights to inform your decision-making and the strategy planning around your recruitment, standards, and development within your school with current, reliable, and unbiased data. So if you think this is the kind of service that could help you and your school, particularly in these challenging times, or you'd like to know more about this service, please contact me and I'd be happy to discuss this further with you. And if you need more comprehensive research, our positioning report provides further qualitative analysis within your competitive landscape, including a detailed competitor analysis featuring local growth and development plans with future trends to consider, an assessment of demand comparing relevant data points, including tuition fees, curricula, examinations, enrollments, student age ranges, admission fees, and highlighting potential barriers to entry or growth, an audit of teaching staff profiles and requirements, and a comparative analysis of other differentiating factors, such as school facilities, SEN provision, or online reviews. The ISC positioning report can prove to be essential to your strategy, as it will provide key data and intelligence to inform your strategic planning, adjust your admissions and tuition, improve your recruitment strategy, and enhance market understanding by sharing independent data analysis with your school board or governing body in an easily digestible format. I'll be speaking about marketing trends for improved admission strategy in the next session on the 3rd of November. I'll flesh out this report then. But again, if you think that either of the reports mentioned are the kind of service that could help you and your school, please get in touch for a no obligation discussion. Our reports data is static, and if you're looking for a more dynamic solution, ISC Insight, our live data portal for international schools, is available in a free version that provides you with limited market data, reports, and news. We also offer a paid subscription, which provides access to live data on international schools in 3 target countries, a sub-regional intelligence report to develop your market knowledge, including current regulations, policies, and trends, as well as exclusive specialist reports. Again, if you'd like any more information on the Insight platform, please contact me. ISC Research publishes a wide range of resources for schools and partners. These include white papers and specialist reports, several of which are free. Our recent reports include Teaching and Learning in International Schools, the Pathway from International School to Higher Education report, Recruitment and CPD in International Schools, the International School Student Profile report, What Makes the International Schools Market Different white paper, the brands and groups that are leading the world's international school sector, and our new Governance Practices in International Schools report that we've been speaking about today. If you want to stay in touch about good practice and initiatives within the international school sector, you may also want to subscribe to our International School Leader magazine and follow the annual International School Awards, which highlight inspiring initiatives across the international school community. Use the link on this page, iscresearch.com/resources, to access many of our free resources. Thank you for listening to me today or joining on demand. There is time for some questions now, so I'll just have a look, see if there's any come through. Haven't got any through at the moment. If anyone would like to ask questions, I'd be happy to answer. Or again, if you'd like to book a session with me individually, I'd be happy to talk you through anything that we've gone through today, or to talk to you about how ISC can benefit your recruitment strategies. Okay, so I'll end the webinar there then with no questions at today's session. I look forward to seeing you again on our next session, again in November, where we'll delve into more detail. Until then, thank you very much for joining.